King Charles's huge Meghan Markle and Prince Harry mistake exposed. The Groundhog Day sequel is here. The stars? Gone are Bill Murray doing deadpan misanthrope and Andy McDowell as his drip of a love interest and all that gray snow. Instead, step forward the leading man no one asked for, King Charles, trapped in a very horrible bad day of his own. Exactly this time in January 2023, a royal spare was creating merry hell for Buckingham Palace, specifically in the form of his best-selling memoir, My Todger Myself, or more accurately, Spare. And now here we are, a year the day later, and we have another royal spare, Prince Andrew the Duke of York, odious turnip of a man, creating not so merry hell for the palace. As the second week of Great Andrew debacle begins, one person who would have every right to be spitting chips is Harry, because the return of Andrew and his decades-long willingness to sponge off a man who was subsequently convicted of underage sex crimes has thrown into sharp relief the vastly different ways that the king has handled the crisis of Spare 1 and Spare 2. The Duke of Sussex is now a persona so non grata that the only way he can get inside Windsor Castle is probably by booking a general admission £33 ticket, while Andrew was most recently seen gobbling down thirds of plum pudding while dining only feet away from the king over the holidays. Seems fair. Charles seems to have spent the last year tap dancing around the Andrew issue like a nervous chorus girl still learning the steps while simultaneously going full raging bull on Harry. For example, within a day, reportedly, of the Duke of Sussex's tell-all hitting shelves, the king expressed his extreme displeasure by promptly evicting the Duke and his wife Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, from their Windsor home Frogmore Cottage. It was a swift, painful, and public bit of what looked like punitive kingship. And Andrew? What punishment is Andrew facing for bringing one of the most sordid and upsetting scandals in modern history down on the heads of the royal family? What price is he being forced to pay for having a dearth of scruples and good judgment and his willingness to spend holidays on 3 continents with a man that the world now knows abused and trafficked underage girls? The king might write a strongly worded letter and ask him to consider moving into a smaller house. That'll show him. Last week, a New York judge unsealed nearly 1,000 pages of court documents relating to financier and pedophile Jeffrey Epstein. The documents allege Prince Andrew groped a 20-year-old while at Epstein's house in New York, as well as sexually assaulting Virginia Giuffre when she was 17 on 3 separate occasions. So what response have we seen from the palace? Sources and insiders popping up in UK reporting, claiming that the king is finally going to get around to seeing what he can do about winkling his brother out of Royal Lodge. In the past 15 months, Harry and Meghan have been afforded one humiliation after another, and Andrew, in the same period of time, the Duke was given the thumbs up to join the king and the royal family for the high-profile Easter service, permitted to wear his Order of the Garter robes to Charles's coronation, given tickets to the coronation concert, has managed to keep the keys so far to Royal Lodge, was pointedly driven to church by William and Kate, is reportedly still being allowed to host a shooting weekend at Windsor, was welcome to join the king and queen for the formal swearing-in of the new Dean of Windsor in November, and handed a starring role in the royal family's Christmas Day walkabout for the 2nd year in a row, even though the world knew that this Epstein document dump was incoming. The king's efforts to sort out the Andrew problem so far are pathetic.